Welcome to the video. I would like to speak to you about consciousness. There was a comment on my last video. The video is called Water is Conscious, and it has caused me to want to discuss my beliefs on consciousness. Because I'm in a Western body and mindset, but I study Eastern philosophy, I have to tell you, I'm coming from the Eastern mindset when it comes to this in specific. One of the things I want to do on this channel is talk about how it will be helpful if we rearrange our language around specific things, and this is one of them. I can't change anyone's beliefs, but I can share with you what I've learned, what I've experienced, and also what I've read about, because I do read a lot of Eastern philosophy, specifically from India, yoga, Advaita Vedanta, as well as some Kashmir Shaivism, among some other things. It's kind of a full array. And I don't just do this alone. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a pretense. So I'm not mixed up about what's what, just because I know how that gets. Now, the reason I want to speak about consciousness today is because of a comment that was left on my video called Water is Conscious. In that video, I didn't specify or even intellectualize the fact that I need to draw a difference between what I see as consciousness and what is commonly used in English, what my perception, okay, let me say it like this, what my perception is of how people see consciousness based on English. And in the way people look at spirituality now, it's very hard to speak about these things because of the language issue. One thing I would like to point out about that is often when people are speaking about the word conscious, they actually mean awake. And I don't mean like they've had a spiritual awakening. I mean literally asleep versus awake. Conscious, awake and communicating. Let's put it that way. I don't think there's much thought around what consciousness is outside of that. Being conscious, being awake, speaking to people. Maybe being more conscious, which would be more caring. Some people use the word mindful. But for me, there's more to it than that. For me, consciousness is everything. Everything is within consciousness. That's where I've come to. I know those are two very similar things, but they might come from very different doctrines, let's say. My point is this. It's very easy to see how different animals are conscious, as in awake, and that they have a communication, right? And that's what I think a lot of people are overlooking, is that birds have a communication. We may not be able to understand it, but they have a communication, as do all the other animals, as do the plants, the trees. But those are harder to perceive. Some people don't believe they even exist. That part I don't understand, but let's not go there right now. So if everything is in consciousness or everything is conscious, then it would make sense to me that water has consciousness. Water is conscious, as in it has a communication. We may not be able to understand it, but it definitely communicates with itself and different types of water. That's what I was speaking about in that video. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but that's what I was speaking to in the water video. However, it goes much further than that. You know, Animism, I believe this is what it's called. Animism. I think that's the English word for it. Everything is conscious except for things that are man-made. That is similar to what I mean. It's the closest to the essence of what I'm saying. If you start to think about, though, if everything is conscious versus everything is in consciousness, you won't be able to hold on to that one for long. But don't do that. For now, I just want to present that everything is in consciousness. So if we're all inside the same space, all of the elements, all of the stardust, all of the wood, the metal, then at some point in the journey of all of those things, they were able to communicate with itself when it's liquid. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm an intuitive. I'm an artist. And this is my changing reality, where we discuss consciousness and art and consciousness, art plus consciousness. The plus is important to me because it's a shape where things cross, like the crossroads. And in the middle is where the person is, the human. And that's the part I really want to talk about. But in order to get there, we need to come to terms on like where the playing field is, what I'm talking about when I say consciousness and awake and mind and all those different things will be helpful. You don't have to change your opinion of your beliefs. That's not what I'm talking about. You just need to know where I'm coming from when I say these things. And the other thing that's so interesting about the water situation, the water is conscious situation, is it's so easy to overlook because, in the comment, it asked, why not water? Why? Everything else, the frogs, the plants, the trees, as I've been saying, they all have this communication, they have this consciousness. So why not water? And I think it's just so easy to overlook. It's been so abused. It's been taken for granted. Everyone assumes that it will just be there until it's not. And now we're seeing what happens when it's not. But that's why I think, and now it holds everything. It has all the messages. It has all the information. It has something in it from everything that's ever been dumped in it. Everything. It has all the information. If only we could gather it properly, maybe respecting it. Anyhow, I digress. That being said, thank you for listening this far. Let me know if you have any questions, and definitely let me know what you think about some of the things I've said in this video. Have a nice day. I love you. Go live your life.